Here is something almost nobody plans for. The moment you hit pension age, your super stops being a private nest egg and becomes a counted asset that can quietly cut your pension. For a homeowner couple, every extra $1,000 above the threshold strips $3 a fortnight off your payment. Keep just $150,000 too much, and you can lose more than $78,000 over your retirement. In the next few minutes, I will show you exactly how to check where you sit and protect your pension. Let me explain why getting this wrong costs real money. Under the age pension assets test, your fortnightly payment reduces by $3 for every $1,000 of assessable assets above your lower limit, according to Services Australia. That sounds small, but it compounds fast. An extra $100,000 of assessable super or investments cuts your age pension by about $7,800 every single year. A homeowner couple sitting $150,000 over the limit loses around $11,700 a year, which over 15 years is roughly $175,000 in lost pension. This is why mapping your assets before you claim matters so much. Step 1 is to build a complete picture of your assessable assets. Open the Services Australia page called Assets Test for Age Pension. Then list everything that counts: your super if you're at pension age, bank accounts, shares and managed funds, the market value of your cars, your household contents, and any property that is not your principal home. Your home itself is not counted under the assets test, according to Services Australia. Use realistic second-hand values for cars and contents, not insurance replacement values. People consistently overstate these and worry themselves needlessly. Get this list honest and complete first. Step 2 is simple but essential. Add up the market values of everything on your list to get one total assessable assets figure. If you are single, that is your number. If you have a partner, you combine your assets into one figure because Services Australia assesses couples jointly. Keep this number written down because the next steps all compare against it. This single total is the lever that decides how much age pension you receive. Step 3 is to compare your total against the official thresholds for your situation. From the 20th of March 2026, a single homeowner gets the full pension up to $321,500 in assets, and the payment stops completely at $722,000, according to Services Australia. A homeowner couple keeps the full pension up to $481,500 combined, with the cutoff at $1,085,000. Non-homeowners get higher limits. Find your ROW, note your lower limit and your cutoff, and see exactly where your total lands between them. Let me put a real number on this. A homeowner couple keeps the maximum age pension as long as their combined assessable assets stay at or below $481,500, according to Services Australia. Above that, the taper kicks in and the payment cuts out entirely once they reach $1,085,000 combined. So if a couple holds $800,000 in assessable assets, that is $318,500 over the lower limit, cutting their pension by roughly $955 a fortnight, or about $24,800 a year. Knowing your distance from that limit is everything. Step 4 turns the rule into your actual number. Take your total assessable assets, subtract your lower limit, divide the result by 1,000, then multiply by 3. That is your fortnightly pension reduction, according to the Services Australia taper rate. For example, a homeowner couple with $631,500 is $150,000 over the limit. Divide by 1,000, multiply by 3, and you get $450 a fortnight, or about $11,700 a year. Doing this calculation yourself takes 2 minutes and tells you precisely what each dollar of extra assets is costing you. Step 5 is about timing, and it is where couples can win big. While you're under pension age, your super and accumulation phase is not counted in the assets or income tests, according to Services Australia. So if one partner is younger, their super is a temporary shelter until they reach pension age. Take Bruce, 66, and Lisa, 61, with $200,000 in her super. When Bruce applies, Lisa's super is ignored, so their assessable total is lower and their pension is higher. Once Lisa qualifies, her super counts too, costing them roughly $15,600 more a year. Mark the count in year for each partner. Step 6 is the optimization move, done carefully and only for genuine needs, because your home is not counted. Money spent on necessary home repairs or improvements before you claim moves out of the assets test. The same goes for bringing forward planned medical expenses or replacing an aging car you would buy anyway. Bruce, a single homeowner, projects $860,000 in assets at 67, which is $138,000 above the $722,000 cutoff, meaning no pension at all, according to Services Australia. Sensibly reducing genuine needed spending before claiming can move him under the cutoff. Never spend money just to chase a pension, but do align spending you were going to do anyway. Here is the single most useful number to carry in your head. Every extra $100,000 of assessable assets above your lower limit reduces your age pension by about $7,800 a year, based on the Services Australia taper rate. That is $100,000 divided by 1,000 times $3 times 26 fortnights. Suddenly, more super is not automatically better once you cross these thresholds. It reframes every decision in retirement, from how you draw down to when each partner converts their super. Now, the common mistakes. The biggest one is converting your whole super into an account-based pension or holding it past age pension age without modelling the assets test impact. Once you are of age pension age, your super counts at full value in both the assets test and the deeming-based income test, according to Services Australia. Bruce's couple, converting $800,000 all at once with $50,000 in other assets, sits $368,500 over the limit, cutting their pension by about $1,105 a fortnight. Staging or timing the same money differently could have saved them around $15,600 a year. The second mistake is assuming the age pension will simply top up whatever your super does not cover. It will not. Above the cutoff, you receive nothing at all. Bruce assumed he would get at least a part pension, but with $860,000 in assets, as a single homeowner, he is $138,000 above the $722,000 cutoff, so he is completely excluded, according to Services Australia. If he misses any pension for his first 5 years, that is around $145,000 of forgone payments based on a full single rate near $29,000 a year. Always check the cutoff before you assume. Let us recap quickly. 1. List every assessable asset and exclude your home. 2. Total it up, combining figures if you are a couple. 3. Compare your total against your full pension limit and cut off on the Services Australia tables. 4. Calculate your taper hit at $3 per thousand over the lower limit. 5. Map the year each partner's super starts counting and use the younger partner's shelter. 6. Align any genuine needed spending into non-assessable areas before you claim. 6 steps, about 30 minutes, and you will know exactly where you stand. If this helped you see the assets test clearly, do the check this week before you make any big super decisions. Run your numbers against the Services Australia tables, and you may find thousands of dollars of pension you did not know you were leaving on the table. Subscribe to the fine print for plain English retirement guides, and watch our next video on the deeming rules and the income test, which work alongside the assets test to decide your final payment. Remember, this is general information only and not financial advice, so check your own situation or speak to a licensed advisor.